Game time. Put me in, coach. Today we are talking about Ben Simmons and the 76ers. I got news for you guys. Ben Simmons is not the problem for the 76ers. Well, on a list of problems, he's down here. I'm going to explain the top problems. Before we get into that, like this video, subscribe to the channel, because here you will learn basketball. So Kevin Durant can't tell you you don't know basketball, because I'm going to give you the knowledge now. Most importantly though, before we start this video, share this video, because we are talking basketball. So you're going to get commentary. You're going to get reaction based on what's going on in the NBA and in the basketball world, the basketball atmosphere. So without further ado, let's dive straight into this video. So number one, we got to start at the top. And one of their main problems is the ownership and everybody involved in making decisions. Because if you draft a Ben Simmons on his highlight reels is not hitting jump shots. He's dunking, right? He's dunking and he's playmaking. So right off the bat, that tells me he is an athletic playmaker. You don't do all that to get Trae Young to tell Trae Young, hey, Trae, we need you to be a lockdown defender at the point guard position. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because Trae Young is known for his playmaking. He led the nation in assists. He got to the NBA, and that is continuing. He is a playmaker. The same rule applies to Ben Simmons, right? He's a playmaker. This is why they compare him to a LeBron or a Magic Johnson, because those guys were both taller, right? But Ben Simmons is taller than both of them. He's about 6'10", maybe 6'11", right? But he's also built, right? He has muscle. He got some weight on him. And he's crazy athletic, right? So with those three things being said about Ben Simmons, right? Tall, athletic, and he has the weight on him and is distributed well. He's well put together with all of that God-given talent. You cannot be mad that he doesn't shoot the basketball, because you knew that when you drafted him. But here's the other issue. You paid him. You maxed him out. Based on what? Potential? Because maybe that's the point where you trade Ben Simmons. When he shows you he's not going to get any better, because he's not going to shoot the ball. So he can't get better because he won't shoot the ball. So once again, that's a problem with the GM and the entire management team with the 76ers. Like I said, Trae Young, come in, let Trae Young do Trae Young type of things if you want him to be successful. Because for these guys, for all of us, right, as basketball players, we have things that we're comfortable doing and we have things that we are not comfortable doing. That's why you have veterans. I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole nother thing. Now, number two, who is the second option on this team? Is it Tobias Harris? Because if it's Tobias Harris, you got a problem. Why? Because he averages about 20 points a game, right? Now, for a second option, I'm going to tell you that's not high enough, especially when your number one option, Joel Embiid, misses about 20 plus games a season. And that's just me being nice, right? He might have just missed like 10. He might have just missed like 15, 17, something like that, right? But in those other seasons, he's missing more than 20 games a year, a season. How do you build around that, right? Now, what I'm saying to you guys is this, because once again, we're talking about basketball knowledge, basketball IQ. What do you do in those 20 games to help your team stay afloat? You now have a new number one option, a new number two option, and a different number three option. Why? Because your number one option is not there. But guess what? Your number one option, Joel Embiid, is always injured and always hurt. But once again, who's the second option? Because Ben Simmons doesn't shoot enough, so therefore he's not the second option. As a matter of fact, he cannot be the second option because he does not shoot. But once again, the GMs had to know this coming in because they drafted him. They had to see what I saw, which was not shooting, right? But again, and talking about the second option, who's the second option on this team? Because if it's Tobias Harris should be shooting way more. And I'm going to tell you why. Ben Simmons is a what? Athletic playmaker. Okay. So if Ben Simmons has the ball in his hands, Ben Simmons dictates who gets the ball. Right? Now, Joel Embiid is the number one option, so it's going to go to him first. But once they start doubling and trapping him and playing in defensive scheming for Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris should be feasting. He should be full. Right? He not have to worry about any kind of shot because he should be able to get the shot he wants because the defense is schemed for the number one option. Number 3, Joel Embiid is the problem. First of all, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have never matched. They've never been able to mix. Their games don't mix because Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons need the same space, which is right in front of the basket. Right now, there's a difference between Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, right? They all need the same real estate, which is in front of the basket. But LeBron will step out and hit some threes from as far away as he can shoot the ball. Russell Westbrook, even though he's not an amazing shooter, right? He's going to take his shots if he's open. And then, of course, Anthony Davis can score from anywhere on the basketball court, right? So if he's 15 feet out, if he's at the three-point line, or if he's somewhere around the basket catching a lob or getting a rebound, not only does he miss games, right? Not only does he not come in shape, right? Who would you get more for if you're making a trade? What's the player that you're more likely to build around? You're going to build around the guy that's always injured? Or do you want to build around the guy that is young and at least out there playing, who's a good defensive player, but he's a playmaker, right? To me, this seems like a no-brainer, right? I would be shopping Embiid, not because Embiid is not amazing, because he is. 29 points, 11 rebounds, and at least one block and one steal a game. That means he's doing a lot for you. But again, the issue is, how many games is he gonna miss? Is he gonna miss the games when we need him the most? Right? Ben Simmons, you have a different set of questions, which is he gonna take the shot when we need him to take the shot? Well, guess what? You can go find a bunch of players who gonna shoot the ball, because most people are training to shoot the ball, right? That's pretty much what they're doing. But if you're talking about making a trade, the only teams that even makes sense at this point in my eyes, I'm sure there's a lot of calls happening and we may see Ben Simmons being traded any day now, but the teams that make sense are or the players that make sense, but they still don't make sense, because with Ben Simmons you're going to lose defense and playmaking, which you vitally need. You need that. It's vital to your success. Defensive playmaking, right? But here are some of the guys that keep coming up. Bradley Beal, Wiggins, and CJ McCollum, right? Once again, you get a CJ McCollum, you get playmaking for CJ, but he's not really going to get the team involved, right? So that's not too good. All right. Then if we're talking about a package with the Warriors, it's going to have to include Wiggins in some way. Well, Wiggins is kind of shown in his career that he's not going to do very good with another wing player that should be just as good as him or better. Like, he's shown that. I mean, look at what Zach LaVine is doing for the Chicago Bulls, in case you need an example. And then the next thing, Bradley Beal. Same thing. He's a better scorer than CJ, but the playmaking and the defense, like, you're going to lose a lot. So, in saying that, what are the Sixers going to do, right? When you're talking about trading for Embiid, you actually might be able to get that superstar, all-star that you're looking for, because Embiid, if he can stay healthy, he is the guy that's going to get you one of those top guys. Now, what top guy are you looking for? Well, that's a completely different video and a completely different conversation. But the point that I'm making to you guys is that, hey, you would get more if you traded Embiid. Therefore, once again, Ben Simmons is not the problem, or not the biggest problem. But going into number 4, right? Going into number 4, Ben Simmons is a problem. And it's for all the reasons that everybody has stated, which is he won't shoot the basketball. Now, I'm going to say something that's not really crazy, but in a sense it is crazy, because it's like, okay, well, once again, GM, once again, coach, once again, second option. Where's your second option? Ben Simmons, why aren't you shooting the ball? Russell Westbrook, Giannis. We can name a whole bunch of players who have a terrible shooting percentage. What's so bad about you airballing? He may have something going on mentally that we don't know about, right? Because him not shooting the ball in basketball is very strange. It's very, very, very strange. But like I said before, it's much easier to change the things around Ben Simmons than it is to change out Ben Simmons, because what you guys don't realize is he does a lot for that team. The defense, right? I mean, you can put him on the team's best defender, and you don't have to worry about his offense, because all he's really going to do on offense is pass or be ready to dunk, right? So that means he can give all of his energy to the defensive side of the ball. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to end this video here. But once again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be talking about free agency. I will be talking about Lakers versus Nets. All of that stuff is coming. So stay tuned. Thank y'all for watching this video. Peace.